Coming up, the finals of 2014 PBA League. It's the Chris Paul-owned LAX, featuring the hottest bowler on the planet, reigning Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, versus Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Each team member a major championship winner, including franchise player Chris Barnes. Who will take home the 2014 PBA Elias Cup? Find out next. No. The road to the second Elias Cup goes through Brunswick Zone, Carolier, and North Brunswick, New Jersey. Welcome to the PBA League Elias Cup Finals, the LAX versus the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. And here's their path to the finals through the semis. The LAX taking out the defending Elias Cup champion, New York City WTT Kingpins, and Silver Lake defeating Philadelphia in the other semi to reach the finals. And hello again, everyone. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer, PBA 50 champion Randy Peterson. Arguably, Jason Belmonte is the best player in the world, and he headlines the LAX lineup. Arguably, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters are the best team on paper, Randy. Both of these clubs fueled by star power.
Well, Mike J., you get no argument from me. Jason Belmonte is the best player in the world, and the Atom Splitters are the best team in this competition, for the simple fact that every member on this roster is a major championship winner. Spearheaded by Chris Barnes, who's won 3 majors, Wes Malott, who won the U.S. Open last season, Brian Smith, his only title a major, there's Tommy Jones with 2 majors. This team stacked from top to bottom. The LAX is led by the greatest bowler on the planet, Jason Belmonte, and his momentum and mojo is filtered through the rest of his team. But interestingly enough, Jason has not bowled in the anchor position at any point through this competition. It's been Parker Bone III. Who will anchor this team today? Stick around and find out. But guess what? If they want to win the Elias Cup, they've got to beat the best team in this competition.
Doubles, trios, and that team competition yet to come. But first, singles for 1 point. Kimberly Pressler is standing by with our franchise players.
Thanks, guys. Chris, Randy just mentioned that you guys really on paper look like a powerhouse team. So how did it come about that you assembled such an amazing team?
Well, we're all great friends on this team, and so when free agency came about and the opportunity to bowl together, you know, guys took a little less money so we could all play together, and then we were able to draft Brian Smith, my old roommate on tour, and another major championship winner, and we felt like he was a perfect piece for us.
Well, good luck to you and your team today.
Thank you.
Jason, something else that Randy talked about is that during this competition, you have yet to bowl in the anchor position, even though you're a franchise player, and most people would have thought that's the role that you would have taken. Who is going to be having that position today?
Well, I think we're going to stick with Parker Bone. He's one of the best clutch performers that the game has ever seen. Also been left-handed out there today. There's a lot less traffic on his side of the lane. Going to be a little bit less transition, so hopefully where he starts is where he's going to finish, and he's just going to strike all day for us.
Good luck to you and your team today.
Thank you very much.
PBA League format, this singles game coming up for 1 point, followed by alternate shot doubles for 1, trios for 1. And then the 5-player team game for 3 points. Team with the most points earns the second Elias Cup.
Okay.
Jason Belmonte will get things started in our singles game. He's wearing the Google Glass, giving us a unique perspective. Randy, you know this perspective very well.
I think it's really cool because what you see is how steady his head is at release. You can see the ball leaving his hand and all that tremendous speed and power going down the lane with bad intentions as it enters the pins.
Strike for Belmonte, and we're off. The Elias Cup Finals singles game for 1 point. Franchise player Belmonte on the board. Now Chris Barnes, 44 years old, 16 tour titles. Interesting that both Barnes and Belmo are each 2-0 in singles in this Elias Cup competition. Something's got to give. Opening shot for Barnes. Strike apiece, and we are on the 42-foot blue pattern, Randy, which gives you a unique perspective at the oil condition.
Yeah, and we're going to revisit this throughout the telecast to It's just a great tool. 42 feet in length. The players are going to play fairly straight to start, with the exception of Belmonte because of his power. They're going to try to stay as close to that second arrow until the lanes start to break down. You can already see the lines that have developed with the bowling balls going down the lane.
10 pin for Barnes. Spinner avoids the 10.
It's been a very forgiving oil pattern. Players have not struggled much to get to the pocket. That ball there just a little soft entering the 1-3.
Belmonte, franchise player for the LAX, managed by Andrew Kane, the president of the United States Bowling Congress, and owned by LA Clippers guard Chris Paul. Belmonte has a strike, and working now, crossing over to the right lane, second frame. And the messenger gets the 10 double for Belmo.
Well, you're going to see firsthand the ridiculous amount of power that's created by this man and what it does to the pins. Watch the head pin. That is the fastest messenger you'll see on tour. Speed, revolutions, when he is firing on all cylinders, nobody can beat him out on this tour.
Jason Belmonte, a member of the Australian national team from 2002 through 2011. Toes the line here, third frame, with an opening double. Packs the pocket, turkey.
You know, the other thing that he does is he wreaks havoc on the other player's line. His bowling ball creates so much turbulence going down the lane, and it dries the oil up so fast. The players have to make moves that they normally would never make, and moves that involve chasing the oil line to the left for right-handers, because Belmonte just completely beats up the oil pattern.
The Atom Splitters started their journey to this Elias Cup final versus the Dallas Strikers in the quarterfinals, but nearly gave that match away in the 5-on-5 team event when Tommy Jones left this nasty split in the 10th frame. But Rhino Page failed to strike out, which allowed the Atom Splitters to escape with the 5-1 victory. No close calls, however, for the Splitters in their semifinal match against the Philadelphia Hitmen. Chris Barnes and company started the team game up 3-0 and then threw an opening six-bagger at the Hitmen. The Splitters eventually sealing the deal with a 6-0 sweep and earning a trip here to New Jersey. Double, and that's what they call posting a shot, Randy.
Yeah, perfect balance at the foul line, Mike, and it's usually a good sign that you're in time and you're throwing good shots. Take a look. There's the posting that you just mentioned. Good way for folks at home to practice. If you can stay balanced after the ball leaves your hand, generally you'll throw a pretty good shot.
Belmonte all strikes, fourth frame, the singles game. Jason Belmonte instrumental in getting the LAX here to the finals. Besides winning his singles matches, he and Parker Bone made key strikes in the team event of the quarterfinal match to eliminate the Brooklyn Styles 4-2. But in their semifinal match against defending Elias Cup champions, the New York City WTT Kingpins, it looked like this late split by Belmonte in the Baker team game might keep the LAX from advancing. That was until Belmonte covered the spare, LA ultimately dismissing New York with a 5-1 victory.
Yes! Come on!
The reigning PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, the franchise player for this LAX. Front 4 strikes, looking for more. 5th frame. 1 point here. 1 point coming up next in doubles and trios. Five-bagger.
Yeah, no big surprise. Belmonte perfect through 5 frames. The guy's just been the human ATM, striking at will and cashing in.
Fifth frame for Barnes. He's got 3 out of 4. And 10-pin.
You see just how much straighter Chris is playing the pattern. It's not that he can't hook it, but he's chosen to go straighter and felt that that gave him the best chance to beat Belmonte. 2 weak 10s through 5 frames for Barnes.
All right, Chris, you're going to 3-1 tighter over there on the left side.
Barnes trails by 31. Belmo perfect through 5. 6th frame in the singles game for 1 point. And the 10 falls. Slaps it out that time. Does Barnes. More of the PBA League Elias Cup final singles game after the break. When we come back, a look back at one of the most memorable shots in PBA history thrown by Mark Roth. PBA League Elias Cup finals are brought to you by Geico. Saving people money and more than just car insurance. By Barbasol. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol. By HotelPlanner.com. The best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms. Best rate. Guaranteed. And by Rotogrip. Your time is now. Own it. LAX and Belmonte, 5 strikes, 2 weak 10s for Barnes. The difference in this 1-point singles game, PBA League Elias Cup. Rolls on. PBA Hall of Famer Mark Roth. A great career, the father of the modern power game, and owner of one of the most memorable shots ever recorded.
Well, let's take a look at today's Ebonite Flashback. Takes us back to 1980 and Mark Roth.
He teased it, but he leaves 7-10. And he leaves the crowd buzzing. A good shot, apparently a good shot, hitting very light. Roth ripped the 5-pin. It went behind the 7. The normal pin action on that hit, the 5-pin goes over, takes out the 7. The 6 came around and hits the 10, but neither one of them happened that time. Roth is just going to go for 1.
The 7-10 split has only been converted 3 times on the PBA telecast, and Roth was the first to do it during the finals of the 1980 ARC Alameda Open in Alameda, California. And the fans here just gave Mark Roth a standing ovation, one of the greatest of all time.
Singles game continues for a point. Jason Belmonte has not missed. 6th frame, plus 31 over Barnes and Silver Lake. Explodes the 7 away. Front 6 for Belmo.
Let's take a look at a comparison between these two players and how they're playing this oil pattern. Chris Barnes here on the right lane. You can see his bowling ball crossing right about that 12th board. Pretty straight down and in. And here's the contrast in styles. Check out Jason Belmonte. He is about 10 boards left at the arrows. Huge difference. It's not like Chris Barnes doesn't have any power either. 7-bagger. Packed. This guy is got some serious momentum going and proving to everyone winning player of the year was that was the right way to vote.
Then Chris Barnes up in the 7th now, working with a strike. Sticks with it, and he doubles.
That's about all I got.
Well, Barnes is shooting a nice 2-team game, and he's down by 41 pins. He's hit the pocket every shot. He's left 2 flat 10s, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, and he's getting steamrolled right now.
Mark Baker looking on. He woke up today ready for competition. He says, I miss this. Barnes strikes in the 8th.
Cuts the lead to 31, trying to keep Belmonte honest.
Belmonte wearing the Google Glass. He recorded a 300 game back at home in Australia. Could he record another one now in this singles game? Front 7, 8th frame for the LAX. Turned away, but a good result.
I don't even want to give you 5 for that one. That was terrible.
Belmo didn't like it, Randy. What did you see?
Well, he fell off the shot immediately, turned away from it, didn't like it at all, felt like it was probably missed at the bottom and out the window, and it just came roaring back to shred the rack.
Belmonte rolled the 21st televised 300 in PBA history at the World Series of Bowling. Front 8. Front 9.
Wow. It's almost unfair. And as he sees his ball go a little high, he just moves in a little bit more and the lane just gets wider. Chris Barnes has got to feel like he brought a knife to a gunfight.
259 max for Barnes, 9th frame.
Barnes strikes out, he shoots 259, and about as good a 259 as you can bowl. And he's already shut out.
Barnes, I'm sure, Randy, capturing information. What can he pass on to his team as we're going to get a substitute here?
Or let Smith bowl last 2 shots.
Open substitution rule. You can pop in a sub at any time.
So, yeah. Do you think he cares about throwing another ball?
Take a re-rack here.
What information do I think he's passing on to his players?
Yes.
Don't bowl Jason Belmonte.
That's one element. Reminiscent of Willis Reed coming out of the locker room. Here's Tommy Jones.
Team player.
Players coming over from the practice pair.
All right, Brian, we got him right where you want him, brother. We got him right where you want him. Perfect. Couple hits right here. Put the pressure on. Let's go.
Run over here now. Settle down and throw a good shot. Come on.
Okay. Need a quick 6-bagger. We got him.
Quick 6-bagger.
Never-ending 10th.
We got the endless 10th.
Never-ending 10th, right?
So Mark Baker, manager for Silver Lake, electing to get a couple extra balls for Brian Smith, meaning we'll most certainly see Smith in doubles or trios.
Here we go. If he's going in now, he's probably going to bowl doubles. Brian's got a nice look. That's a pretty good shot coming off of the practice for not throwing a shot on this TV pair after the Belmonte and Barnes have broken the oil pattern down somewhat.
Right lane a half tighter. It's all in. Down lane. Backside.
Just telling Brian Smith the difference in the two lanes.
That communication factor, huge, Randy, is normally that information is just usually between your own ears.
Yeah, it's nice to have some confirmation. Two great shots for Brian Smith. But right now, Jason Belmonte perfect through 9. He's bowled 1-300 on television before. Can he do it again?
One point already earned for LAX. Belmonte has the game in hand. About a round number, 10th frame. Oh, ringing 10.
Great game, great shot. You don't see Jason Belmonte leave a lot of 10 pins. He's got a very wide pocket and probably the highest carry percentage on tour. Right now, all that really matters is it's 1 point for LAX and nothing for the Adam Splitters.
LAX is on the board with a point on the shoulders of its franchise player, Jason Belmonte. Powers the first point on the board in style. Doubles when we return to the PBA League Finals. The LAX have taken the first point in the PBA League Elias Cup Finals on the strength of franchise player Jason Belmonte, who goes 3-0 in singles. LA 1, Silver Lake nothing. Mike Jakubowski with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, and the greatest bowler in the world proves it over and over again. Big game to defeat Barnes.
Yeah, he got off to a great start. Obviously, with the front 9, Barnes bowled a great game and just not enough firepower. But Jason Belmonte's power, again, when he's firing on all cylinders, he's almost unbeatable. And, you know, he just proved that in the match against Barnes. What's interesting, though, is the big game that he just bowled, the 279, he's not in the doubles competition. And I'm not second-guessing Andrew Kane, their manager, but, man, you got a fast horse, you keep riding him.
Alternate shot doubles is coming next. And it's time now for the Barbasol close shave of the day. Jason Belmonte going for a perfect game, and a shave of the 10-pin prevents the 300. Kimberly Pressler is now standing by with Parker Bone III, who's coming up next for 1 point in our doubles game. Kimberly.
Thanks, Mike. So Team LAX is doing very well. They got the first point of the competition. Now, Parker Bowen, you were going to play anchor position today, but you are the only left-hander. And in that singles match where we saw Jason and Chris Barnes, they put up some pretty big numbers. Is that going to play into your favor that you're the only left-hander? Is it going to be an advantage for you or a disadvantage?
Well, if I can figure it out, obviously the changes are going to be very subtle on my side of the lane. So the only one out there is me. All I got to do is play my game, figure out how to get to the 1-2, and hopefully good things will continue to happen.
How do you match up with Mika?
Meech and me match up really great. You know, he controls his side, I control my side. We don't get in each other's way, but obviously we can cheer each other to victory.
Good luck to you today. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Kimberly. When we return, alternate shot doubles. Corbin Bone, Smith Barnes, next. The second season of the PBA League has reached the Elias Cup Finals as our alternate shot doubles. For 1 point begins LA on top, 1-0 over Silver Lake. For Silver Lake Adam Splitters, Brian Smith will lead off, followed by Chris Barnes. For the LAX, Mika Koivuniemi and Parker Bone anchoring. Brian Smith will open. And a strike for Brian Smith, Masters champion. Good play, brother. Alternate shot, as I mentioned, player 1 throws a strike shot. If player 1 does not strike, the second player will convert the spare and repeat throughout the game. Mika Koivuniemi will lead off for LA. Parker Bone will clean up anything that Mika doesn't knock down here in the first frame. Slaps the 10 out.
Transition shouldn't be that big of a deal in this match because all the right-handers are pretty much playing in the same part of the lane. So when the lanes do transition, it'll be subtle enough to where the players should be able to stay ahead of the moves.
We can follow the transition with the blue oil. Traffic through the arrows and transition past the end of the pattern. Now Parker Bone for LA. Smacks him back from the left side.
Like a fine wine, just keeps getting better with age. Timeless style of one of the greatest players of all time, Parker Bone III. Seen that result a few times from him. If this team has a good look, or if Parker has a good look rather, LAX is going to be tough to beat. Parker has no traffic on his side. A lot of purple on that team. A nice strike by Chris Barnes.
Smith, a Masters winner back in 2003. His only PBA Tour title. All major champion. Splitters, third frame. And a 2 and a 10 for Barnes.
Missed left on that one.
All right, Chris, you got this.
Well, you heard Brian say he missed left, and the ball never curved because it's sliding through all the blue oil.
I'll be good at this one right now.
Comes in light. Lucky tripping the 8 out late gives Barnes a chance to convert the 2-10 split.
It, but it doesn't fall down with the Adam Splitter spare ball. Open frame for Silver Lake.
Bad break there. It was a great shot by Barnes, and for that much speed, you would have thought he would have caught enough of the 10-pin to knock it over, but not to be. Take another look. Catches the 2-pin on the left side. Caught it just a hair thin.
Koivuniemi back up for LA. Not a double. By 4-pin.
The key in this alternate shot doubles is if you can keep striking, you keep staying on the same lane. And right now, Parker Bone III will attempt to shoot this 4-pin, which then puts Mika back over on the left lane to try to throw a strike. You keep striking, you stay on the same lane. You don't, you start flip-flopping. The task becomes a little bit more difficult.
Single pin spare for Bone. The LAX owned by Chris Paul and managed by that man Andrew Kane, member of Team USA himself back in 2002, 3, and 5. Has been president of the national governing body since 2012. Also a PBA member, the 7-8 PBA West Region Player of the Year.
Good player and a good guy.
Mika light hit, and the 7 falls.
Well, I was okay with the 1. I didn't need to shoot 2 of them.
Okay. Nice break rolling the 7 late. Mark Roth is in the stands in case he would have left the 7-10 split. Unfortunately, they can't call Mark Roth into sub. He's a guy that knows how to make it. Parker Bone III, one of the best spare shooters in the history of this game, as you see Mark Roth. I'm not sure Mark, not that he was rooting against anybody, but I'm sure he would have liked to have seen somebody attempt the 7-10 split. Him sitting right behind the television pair.
Mark Roth will present the PBA League Most Valuable Player Trophy following the awarding of the Elias Cup. Now Smith for Silver Lake.
Here we go. There we go. Now we're back on it. All right, we're back in a minute. Nice Anytime here.
And just a solid form. Brian Smith, a great athlete, and you can see that lower body staying nice and low, and that hand follow through going right to the target.
Silver Lake can cut the lead here. Perfect shot from Barnes. Double. And Silver Lake now trails by just 2 pins.
Yeah, and just another great shot by Chris Barnes. And, you know, you talk about hand position rotation at the bottom of the swing. Chris Barnes is one of the best, but he doesn't rotate his hand around the side of the ball a lot. His hand is pretty much up the back.
Two strikes and 2 spares. Mika toes the line in the 5th for LA. Mixing strike for Carolier.
Better keep it tight. Yeah, I keep it tight. Yeah.
Parker's only attempted 1 strike ball. This will be the 2nd one of the game for him. His 1 lone strike did come on this lane.
Seventh pin.
Shot there. And these two will then flip-flop lanes again after Mika attempts the 7-pin conversion. Cross lane, nice and straight at the 7-pin.
Better go last time. I see that. 66%.
Silver Lake trying to even things up in this PBA Elias Cup Finals. More of alternate shot doubles is coming next. Welcome back to Brunswick Zone, Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey. Continuation of the PBA League Elias Cup Finals. LA is up 1-0 and leading here by 2 pins against Silver Lake in alternate shot doubles. It's a bio blast with the owner of the LAX, LA Clippers guard Chris Paul, 7-time NBA All-Star, 2008 NBA MVP runner-up and Rookie of the Year back in 2005-06. Chris Paul saying that his association with bowling has more fans into him. And learning about Chris Paul because of his bowling, even more so than his basketball at times. Silver Lake trails by 2, but can take the lead here in doubles. Brian Smith. Silver Lake. That's a lead change.
Great shot. For those of you keeping score at home or wondering how it's possible that they can take the lead even though they have an open frame and LAX doesn't, it's simple. That 3-bagger that they just threw there took care of the open frame. Remember, they have a double and a 3-bagger. LAX only has 1 double, and there's the difference, and that's why it's an 8-pin match. Barnes can increase to 18.
Get up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, great shot there by Chris Barnes. And, you know, earlier I talked about what Chris Barnes does with his hand at the point of release, and a lot of folks think that you've got to turn or get on the side of the bowling ball to make your ball hook. Well, look where Chris Barnes' fingers are, right underneath, actually inside the left part of the bowling ball. And that's where you want to get if you want to create roll and power.
Parker Bone working his spare for LA. He slaps the 7 away.
Mika needs to come up big here on the left lane. And remember, the last time on this lane, he almost left a pocket 7-10. Needs to cut into the deficit and can trim the deficit to just 8 with a strike here.
overhooked.
Great shot, Smeeker.
All right. That was just a bad shot. He either got it left of target or he just kind of grabbed it at the bottom, and the ball just hooked real early. You see how it didn't push far enough to the right. It goes through the nose.
So in the doubles format, Parker Bowen, teammate, cleans up the spare.
Okay.
Big thanks to Brunswick Zone Carolier, serving as host of this PBA League Elias Cup final. Rich Valentine, Kathy Kubanek, their great staff here at Brunswick Zone Carolier. 82-lane facility, great host to major championships, and now this Elias Cup final. Smith and Silver Lake keeps striking.
Right there now. Let's go, TV, one time.
Great shot by Brian Smith. Just keeps applying the pressure to LAX. Chris Barnes now can increase the lead to 38. Pretty much shut the door on this match.
Oh, hook. Get lucky. Right.
It hooked. It split the 8 and the 9.
But he got soft enough to where that ball would make the turn, and it did.
Who do you want the ball to 10?
No matter what.
Wes?
No matter what LAX does now, their max score is 228, and Chris Barnes and company, they're already in the 240s. You see that ball just splitting the 8 and 9 in half.
You see Mark Baker there already thinking about who will bowl the 10th frame. A couple extra looks for Silver Lake. As this Elias Cup Finals becomes knotted at 1-1.
Well, I still think if Parker Bowen strikes out here, you still have Brian Smith throw the first ball in the 10th frame because you still need decent count. You need to stay behind the foul line. I'm not sure that's a situation where you want to bring a guy fresh off of the bench. Make sure you get the win first. If Parker doesn't strike here, then it's a moot point. Again, same with Mika. If he doesn't strike on this ball, you can insert a sub if you're the Atom Splitters, because the match is mathematically over. I think you still have Brian Smith throw the first shot in the 10th frame now. If you're the Atom Splitters, you take a look at the Elias Cup trophy, named after the founder of the PBA Tour, Eddie Elias.
33 charter members, and Eddie Elias founded the Professional Bowlers Association back in 1958, and the great legacy lives on in this Elias Cup PBA League competition. 228 finish for LAX.
No surprise, Parker Bowen. Very solid in that match for LAX. They're going to have Malott come in now.
Shooting 240. What?
What's the score? Yeah, we have 266 left. They have 228.
Right. I kept score once. We can shoot 266. We open for 230.
Yeah.
Just strike.
Need a total of 8 pins.
We kept score by hand in the old days, right?
They need 8 on the first ball, and it's over.
No comments from the left side of the field. 205.
Enough. 1-1 here. The LAX versus Silver Lake in the Elias Cup Finals. Trios are coming, but first, a very special look at the science of bowling. The ESPN Sports Science team breaks down the game with former Player of the Year Sean Rash. Next. PBA League Elias Cup Finals are brought to you by HotelPlanner.com, the best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms, best rate, guaranteed. By Geico. saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. And by Columbia 300, grab some friends, have some fun, let's bowl. LAX won in singles. Silver Lake Atom Splitters answer won in doubles. 1-1 tie in the PBA League Elias Cup finals. Trios and team yet to come. Head to PBA.com to find out how you can join the growing number of fans following the PBA on Twitter. Get tweets featuring PBA Tour news, tournament updates, and find information about linking to the Twitter accounts of your favorite PBA star. Simply click on the Twitter link on the PBA.com homepage and get started. Kimberly Pressler is with Silver Lake Atom Splitter manager Mark Baker. Kimberly.
Thanks, Mike. Mark, I think some of the people might second-guessing you when you put Wes Malott fresh off the bench. He was cold. Brian was doing really well. What was the strategy behind that?
Well, Wes has a bad knee. We want to get him an extra shot to throw it in there. Yeah, from behind, they were doing all the worst-case scenarios on scorekeeping. I'm betting on my guys. I didn't think Wes was going to get 6. I got a PhD in keeping score, so I knew what the score was. I bet Wes is going to get more than 6.
Now let's move on to the trios, which is coming up next. What is your lineup?
My lineup goes Tommy Jones, Don Barrett, Wes Malott. We put all the 3 guys that hook it together. I always had Brian and Chris throw a little straighter in the doubles so the trio guys can break them down and go right into the team.
All right, well, good luck to your team today, and thank you so much for your time. Back to the booth.
Thanks, Kimberly. On the other side of the coin, it's Belmonte, Gomez, and Tackett for the LAX in trios. Time now for a special treat as the ESPN Sports Science team turns its attention to the sport of bowling. And what better subject to study than a former Player of the Year?
To examine the science of bowling, we brought in 7-time PBA Tour champ, Sean Rash, and wired him up with our array of biomechanical sensors.
So what this consists of are several small sensors that we're going to place on each of your arm segments, your legs, your torso, and basically we're going to be able to tell exactly how much force your joints endure, how fast they're going as you're throwing the ball.
Perfect. Physics dictates that the higher a ball is above the ground, the greater its potential energy. Which translates to speed. Data reveals that during Sean's backswing, his shoulder rotates 68 degrees beyond its neutral position. That's a range of motion nearly 15% larger than normal. And that extra flexibility enables Sean to extend the ball more than 6 feet above the ground and launch it up to 30 miles per hour, making him one of the fastest bowlers in the PBA. But to create that speed, Sean actually slams on the brakes. As he slides into his finishing position, the momentum generated by Sean's body is transferred to the ball at release. But as he rapidly decelerates his 210-pound body, less than 1 inch from the foul line, Sean's left knee experiences a force more than 7.5 times his body weight. That's more than 1,600 pounds. That's the equivalent of a female black rhino sitting on his knee joint for a split second. To bowl a strike, the optimal impact is the pocket, entering on a curved path at a 6-degree angle. During the release, Sean actually only rotates his wrist about 20 degrees. As the ball leaves his hand, Sean's fingers apply torque to the ball. Specialized fingertip pressure sensors reveal that his right ring finger experiences more than 15 pounds of force, which means at a point, one fingertip supports nearly 95% of the bowling ball's weight. And this enables Sean to impart 550 RPM of spin on the ball. That's almost 85% more than the average bowler. And this helps the ball in the last 15 feet break more than 18 inches before contact. When it comes comes to the science of bowling, this barely scratches the surface. Other factors include ball composition, oil viscosity, lane patterns, and even weather. In fact, if humidity warps a piece of wood in the lane just 1 millimeter, that can change the course of the ball by more than 3 inches. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
A special thanks to the sports science team for that fascinating look at our game. When we come back, 1 point up for grabs and trios as LA's Belmonte, Gomez, and Tackett take on Atom Splitters, Jones, Barrett, and Malott. Coming up next. All tied up at 1 apiece here at the Elias Cup Finals between the LAX and the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Next up, trios. This Columbia 300 fun fact, the first live nationally televised PBA event, took place just about 45 miles from here in Paramus, New Jersey. On May 13th, 1961, Roy Lown won the National PBA Invitational from Paramus Bowl in an event televised live by ABC Sports. 3 bowlers per team in trios, and just a rotation through the lineup. 1, 2, 3. Belmonte will bowl 1, 4, 7, and the 10th frame. Pick up your own spares here in trios, just to cycle through the 3-player lineup. Belmonte 5-2 in PBA League matches, but 0-2 when he bowls trios. Opening shot is a strike. Slaps the 10 away.
Good stop, boys.
For LA, Jason Belmonte led off, followed by Andres Gomez and E.J. Tackett, bowling 3, 6, and 9. For the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Tommy Jones, Dom Barrett, and Wes Malott. Jones gets the 1st and 10th frame. Rolls a 2-pin.
Must be this building.
Well, I talked about the rev rates that we're going to see in this trios match. Imagine a skillet full of Crisco oil on the stove. It's kind of what these lanes are feeling. They're about to feel like. You got this much power and this much rev rate just chewing up the blue oil on this championship pair.
Dom Barrett for Silver Lake. Light, and he gets a 2 to roll.
Well, that's back-to-back trip 2s for for the Atom Splitters, and if you're LAX, that's the last thing you want to see is 2 lucky breaks like that.
I can do that one. Trip to 4.
And a little hug from his teammate Tommy Jones. Parker Bones got his hands out going, hey, real strikes, please.
Now the Colombian, Andres Gomez, in the middle of the trios lineup for LA. Pay attention to the style of Gomez and especially the finish. 2nd frame.
That ball tried to drift high and didn't. Nice shot by Andres.
That's good.
All strikes. First look at E.J. Tackett.
Andres sat on the bench and was talking to Jason Belmonte about how much different he's playing the 2 lanes. He said 4 and 2 left.
And another 2-pin. The last to fall. Right back at you.
That's good stuff there. This youngster here is just, man, is he full of energy and fun to watch. And he trips the 2-pin himself and looks right over at Tommy Jones and Dom Barrett. What a great react.
A little sloppage. Malott, 3rd. Oh, he kicks the 10 away from trouble.
I tried. Can't hit him there.
Well, he didn't learn anything from Tommy Jones or Dom, and Wes throws a pretty good shot here and almost leaves a pocket 7-10.
Guys.
These pins flying everywhere. Talked to Wes earlier. He said his knee was actually feeling a little bit better. Coming off of that knee surgery, and well documented.
Not ideal, but
how stiff that knee gets. We heard him talk about it throughout the competition. Heard Coach Mark Baker talking about it prior to this match.
Now, Wes mentioned that it's a variable amount of time to warm up. Some days better than others.
Wonder if the weather has anything to do with it. Yeah, this time he got him. Boy, with all of Tommy Jones's power, you would think he would get a little bit softer and open the lane up, but Tommy's going to need to get the bowling ball over in this area here and throw that 2-pin into the 10.
Open frame.
All right, hold me up.
Wow. The match is tied at 1-1. The winner of the trios will ensure themselves the Elias Cup with a tie or a victory in the team competition. So this point does have some meaning. Now LAX have cycled through the rotation back to the top of the order. Belmonte will bowl the fourth, working the turkey.
All right, guys, keep it going. All right, boss, let's keep this going.
Well, he can't bowl every event, and there's a good reason why he didn't bowl the doubles. You know, you got to get your teammates involved, but no big surprise he's back into the trio event. Now Andres Gomez looking to keep the string going. Ooh. Light 2-8, and that left lane's looking like it's getting a little squirrely down lane. The balls are coming off the end of the pattern looking like they're trying to hook, and they're just kind of wiggling before they start to make the move into the pocket. Playing way inside, man. He's inside fourth arrow already.
Good conversion. Slash in the box, and a 32-pin lead for LAX.
I don't know. Come on, give me a go. All right, no spare. Right now.
Little half pocket shot by Dom Barrett. There's the revolutions on that bowling ball. It's a great look by our cameramen. See that bowling ball turning over, that side or axis rotation. Great look as that ball's revving up down the lane.
Look at Mark Baker. Gets his juices flowing to have this competition. Four-time PBA Tour titleist, 26 career TV finals appearances. Mark says about his career, he threw some strikes and we had a little fun.
You wanted to make sure you bowled Mark Baker in the morning and not on the night block. In the night block, when the lanes broke down, you couldn't beat him. You had to get him early. That was back in the day when we only oiled the lanes once a day, and once those lanes broke down and he could use his power to move in with,
the yard needed water
it was
at home.
Really hard to handle.
So Wes picks up the head pin spare combination. And LA looking to go 2-1 as the trios
rolls on here at Brunswick Zone Carolier. More action coming.
All right, guys, keep it going.
The PBA League Elias Cup Finals match knotted at 1-1. LAX holds the advantage in trios. 35-pin lead with team yet to come. Let's meet the owner of the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Chris Hardwick, son of PBA Hall of Famer Billy Hardwick, named after bowling announcer Chris Schenkel, founder of Nerdist.com, writer-contributor for Wired Magazine, and hosts At Midnight on Comedy Central and Talking Dead on AMC.
All right, guys, let's go.
E.J. Tackett will step up for L.A. with the lead. The 2012-13 Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year and member of Team USA and Junior Team USA. Tackett. Light in a 210.
Looked like he's stuck on that shot. Looked down at the foul line, got it way right.
Spare ball.
Let's take a look here and see what happens. See him snap that bowling ball right at the bottom, but you see him come up and out of it. Almost looked like he's stuck, and that ball was way right of target.
And open frame will tighten up this trios game. Let's take another look at it with this hammer tough spare replay.
Well, it caught too much of the 2-pin here and didn't create enough angle to throw it into the 10, and did throw the 2-pin through the back of the curtain, though. May have taken out a camera. That's okay. We'll send him the bill.
Those can be replaced. Plus 22 for LA, 7th frame. Franchise player Belmonte delivers a strike.
You can see just the tremendous amount of rotation and power. Jason Belmonte opening up the entire lane. This guy can do the same thing. I'm not sure why Tommy's trying to go so straight. There you go. See, now that time he opened the lane up. Much better shot than the 2-pins and 2-10s he was leaving.
Good one right here. Come on now.
See here, he moves into about 4th arrow and sends it out to about the 8th board and back and just saws the 10 out. That's kind of the look and ball reaction that I was looking for with Tommy Jones.
The Tackett Open opens the door for Silver Lake, and Jones loads it up for his teammate Don Barrett, now working 8th frame, looking to double.
Hey.
Ring 10.
Just when they had a chance to cut into that LAX lead, Don Barrett leaves a ringing 10. Pretty good shot here, and 6 goes around the 10-pin. You know, back in the day, if you left a ringing 10, it was a good thing because it meant you were hitting the pocket. And now it's a bad thing because the players know their bowling ball isn't going through the pins the right way. And so, you know, there's always an adjustment right around the corner when a player sees a ringing 10. For me, if I leave 2 ringing 10s a game and I hit the pocket every shot, I think I did pretty well. These players are making ball changes and changing lines and everything else.
And now LA with the opportunity to rebuild their lead. They lead by 22. Match is knotted at 1-1. Trios for 1 point. Gomez hits the pocket. Plus 32 for LA.
He likes that lane. He's lined up on that lane, and well, he's got a nice form as he kind of skips through the middle part of his approach and that open hand, a la Pete Weber. He's got a great amount of rotation. There's a guy that can open the lane up, Andres Gomez, along with this young man here, E.J. Tackett. This match is nearing the end with all the strikes that LAX is throwing. They can strike out for 255. The best that Atom Splitters can shoot now is 213.
strike for Tackett. He really gets close to that foul line. In fact, that heel comes up.
Yeah, he's up on his toes. Remember, he only weighs about $135, and when you're creating all that power, I mean, he gets every ounce of body weight behind every shot. There's that cupped wrist. There's the snap. You see how much legs he gets into that shot. It's almost like he squats down into it, and then like somebody that's going to do a jump, he just kind of springs upward, and that's how he creates all that power.
Thanks.
10-pin for Wes Malott.
Baby steps, baby steps.
LAX putting together a 4-bagger and now a turkey to take command here in trios. Malott with a little microsurgery on the piece of bowling equipment. Cross lane at the 10.
Very good.
Yeah, it almost looked like he dropped it, and he dropped it in the right spot, but this match is over. Now the players will throw shots and get lined up for the team event. Again, I'm looking for Tommy Jones right here to open up this left lane. That's the way I think Tommy needs to play him.
Kirk. What's up?
Brian Smith's going to come in now and sub for one of the players and get ready for team event. This guy's been red hot today, Brian Smith has. Bowled great in the doubles. Oh.
Shot. That came through. Picked up.
We're doing a match real quick. We don't need this.
We don't need this. Okay. Okay. Don't want to see my spare shooting skills?
I'm starting to wonder because I'm seeing that lane. I'm seeing the right side doesn't work. That's what I'm thinking.
All right. Done, wherever you want. We got them all.
First one was 3. It's 7 on the spot.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to go for the spare there, just throwing a strike ball. Just trying to get lined up for the finale.
Throw the first one. Throw the first one. You want one more, throw the first one.
Again, team strategy is so important. Manager Andrew Kane telling Belmonte to throw the first one.
Go in for him, even if he leaves a spare.
Okay. Bringing Mika Koivuniemi in next. Whoa. Here you go, Mika. Spare this.
Probably a good thing you took another shot.
I think so too.
So LA takes a 2-1 advantage in this Elias Cup final, thus ensuring the Elias Cup with either a tie or a win in the upcoming team game. So Mika electing to try the strike line out there.
LAX has
taken a 2-1 advantage. And the winner of our team competition will claim the second Elias Cup. Belmonte, will he be in the anchor position? We'll find out when we return to Brunswick Zone Carolier. LAX takes trios for the point and the overall lead in the match 2-1. And with a tie or a win in the team game, will claim the Elias Cup. It's time now for the Geico Championship recap with Randy Peterson.
Boots and pants and boots and pants. That's what Belmonte was thinking in this match because he really put the boots to Chris Barnes. He started with the front 9, left a ring in 10, and he really crushed Chris Barnes 279, 259. Then in the doubles, it was Barnes again, only this time he partners with Brian Smith. Brian got off to a rough start, but he finished strong. Mika, however, never really got on track. Chris Barnes was perfect, throwing strike after strike. They take down Mika and Parker Bone 261, 228. And then it was trio time. Everything's better when it works in threes, and it really worked for LAX. even with 2 open frames, Andres Gomez was still able to carry that strike for a 3-bagger and take down the Adams Splitters 216 to 190.
Randy, we've got a team game coming up for 3 points. It will decide the Elias Cup champions, and the lane conditions, what are they like now that we're going to have 5 players per team competing?
Well, each player only throws 2 shots for the entire game, so you think of it as just another game. It's not like you've got 10 players bowling the whole game, so it's 10 games. They're going to break down a little bit, but the question is, how much have they broken down to this point? Are the players still going to have enough room? The last shot we saw Belmonte throw, he went right through the nose, leaving the big 4 on the right lane. So the question is there still enough oil to move into in the middle part of the lane?
And we have a look at it now, a comparison to take a look to kind of analyze that situation.
All right, so before practice, on the left side of your screen, after the trios on your right side of your screen, you can see just how much that oil, or that blue oil, is starting to lighten up, and that means that it's drying up. And when it dries up, the players, this area here, getting drier, and so it forces the players to go this way so that they can find more oil. Their laydown area becomes very deep to the inside part of the lane. You see that big curve, the ball going way out to the right, and this type of motion right here. Whereas I think the advantage goes back to LAX because of the fact that they have the only southpaw in Parker Bone III. He's got really fresh oil on his side of the lane. Transition is not going to be the issue for him.
It's time now for Track Tech Talk, and the subject, Randy, is timing.
And the subject I would like to use when talking about timing is one of the best ever, Tommy Jones. When we talk about timing, it's ball placement into the swing, and Tommy Jones is a prototypical power player in that he gets the ball into the swing very early, and then he's going to run after that real high backswing. Now, he gets the ball into the swing early because he's got a backswing that's almost vertical. He has to get it in early to set up that great timing, but you notice that the ball's actually falling from the top of the swing before he starts to get into that slide. And that's how his timing works. Remember, the higher the backswing and the more power the player has, the earlier the ball needs to get into the swing.
When we return, 3 points on the line, and we will crown a league champion next on ESPN. PBA League Elias Cup Finals, 3 points in the team game will determine the champion for the 2nd season. Kimberly Pressler is with Tommy Jones. Kimberly.
Thanks, Mike. Tommy, we talked about it at the top of the show that the Adams Splitters, at least on paper, are a powerhouse of a team. But you guys are trailing going into the team match. What does your team need to do to take the win today? Because if you win this match, you guys win the championship.
Well, you know, we each have 2 shots, and I have all the confidence in the world in our 5 guys to get up and make 2 good shots. And if we do that, the rest will take care of itself, and we'll take the trophy home again. Now,
you're the anchor on your team. What type of pressure, if any, are you feeling?
Well, you know, it's no pressure from these guys because they obviously put me here, but it's pressure to want to be able to perform. And, you know, they have confidence in me, and that gives me all the confidence I need. All right, thank you for your time. Good luck to you guys, and back to the booth.
Randy Peterson, Tommy mentioned winning again. He won last year for the defending New York City WTT Kingpins in a clutch shot late in that match.
Yeah, and he's looking to repeat, but LAX has got something to say about that. I think an interesting note, when we look at all of the participants in this team event, every member on both teams, with the exception of one player, Brian Smith, was a member at one point. Was either a member or a past member of a national team. Andres Gomez, Team Colombia. Mika, who's up right now, Team Finland. Belmonte, Team Australia. E.J. Tackett and Parker Bone III, Team USA.
Mika gets things started for LA. Kovaniemi will bowl the 1st and 6th. 5 bowlers per team. Each bowler, as Tommy Jones mentioned, bowling 2 frames. Teams will switch lanes after 5 frames, bowl all of the first 5 frames on one lane and then switch, and everyone will combine for the 10-frame score to determine our PBA League champion, Smith.
for Silver Lake. Strike apiece.
Yeah, I think Brian Smith has been very steady in this competition, and especially today in the doubles, he looked real good. He got off to that tough start, but I think he's made some real quality shots in this competition.
E.J. Tackett up for L.A., following Koivu-Niemi, to be followed by Gomez, Belmonte, and Parker Bone III. E.J. himself, a member of Team USA and Junior Team USA. Bowling for the red, white, and blue. Light, 2-4.
Spare ball's behind you there.
Again, that's that straighter shot that I think really creates an over-under ball reaction. E.J. goes a little bit straighter than I would think he needs to go, and comes in light, leaves the 2-4. I'd like to see him with all that power just open the lane up a little bit more.
You made it and didn't break anything.
and play can resume.
Spare for L.A. Chris Barnes follows Brian Smith, to be followed by Barrett, Malott, and Jones. Barnes will bowl the second and 7th frames.
Again, really good strategy on this team's part, having Barnes go right behind Brian Smith. Brian Smith gives Chris Barnes great reads. These two used to be tour roommates together. Brian Smith comes off the lanes and tells Barnes, as you see him leave a ringing 10, exactly the moves that he makes, and Chris Barnes just follows suit. Best team on paper. When the rosters came out in this competition, LAX trying to be the spoilers. They're going to have to bowl a flawless game, in my opinion, to beat them.
Colombia and Andres Gomez up, 3rd frame for L.A. And he trips the 4-pin.
Or get some nice breaks like that.
Yeah, baby. Good
4. A right-hander's best friend, tripping the 4-pin.
So strike on the board for L.A. Dom Barrett for Silver Lake up in the 3rd frame. Light hit, 2-8-10 becomes the 8-10.
Toughest thing about team bowling is when that happens to you. You know, when it's singles and you do it, the only person that you want to kick is yourself. And when you have 4 other players rooting for you and relying on you, and you do that, it makes it real tough. You don't want to let your team down, and Dom Barrett's just opened in the 3rd frame.
Shot to make. Let's go.
It's just a spot on that line. That was. I thought it was enough right there. I'll see it. Yeah, just showing in the front.
Jason Belmonte bowling in the 4 and 9 slot for L.A. Opportunity to double and increase the lead. The winner here claims the 2nd Elias Cup.
Big shot there, and he knew it. Take advantage of your opponent when they open. That's what great champions do. Belmonte steps up after the open frame by Dom Barrett, working on a strike, and delivers. You don't think this shot matters to him? Watch this. Purple bench pretty quiet after that shot.
Wes Malott
picks up the team and puts an X in the box. Strike for Silver Lake.
Yeah, great hand in rotation of Wes Malott. That ball fed right and just zipped back into the pocket. Nice shot by Big Wes.
Time for the anchor players. Hall of Famer Parker Bone III. Can extend the lead for LA. Fifth frame. Light. 9-pin.
Not sure, but I think that's the first time Parker's missed the pocket today. May have gotten a little too jacked up before he threw that shot, knowing he could have really increased the lead and just overthrew it. But that ball didn't hook as it came off the end of the oil pattern at 42 feet.
It's fair for LA in a 22-pin lead, but now Silver Lake, ball in the anchor player's hand. As Player of the Year Tommy Jones, a chance to have the lead. 3 points on the line. The winner of this game will claim the Elias Cup. Chance to double for Jones. High. 4-7-10.
Slide over.
Really? Pretty good there.
Looked like a pretty good shot here, and it just comes off the end of the pattern, goes sideways like somebody kicked it, and Tommy pays the ultimate price, leaving the split.
Hit it.
Open frame, LA with a commanding 34-pin lead. Will LA take out the best team on paper? In order to do that, they need to take them out on the lanes. We'll find out who claims the Elias Cup next. PBA League Elias Cup Finals are brought to you by Barbasol. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol. By the USBC, the national governing body servicing the needs of bowling. To learn more, visit us on bowl.com. By Geico, saving people money and more than just car insurance. And by DV8, we are DV8. Tonight, we bowl. 3 points in this team game will claim the Elias Cup. LAX currently leads 2-1 and by 34 pins, but the 3 points all important. The winner of this team game will claim the Elias Cup. Mike Jakubowski, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler for the final 5 frames.
Well, you know, Parker Bones had such a good look on the left side of the lane that the right-handers decided, hey, maybe we should move in there as well. Look how deep and where the laydown area is for Andres Gomez. Wes Malott just a little bit right of that. Belmonte, he's in there. They're using that side of the lane because it's the only spot where there's still oil. They're using the same laydown area basically that Parker Bone is. He's left-handed.
5 frames remaining to crown the Elias Cup champion in the second season of the PBA League. Parker Bone, the anchor player for the LAX, and it could come down to him as Silver Lake will try to cut into this lead. They start fresh on an open frame. Brian Smith, final pitch of the PBA League, 6th frame.
I'll tell you what it's going to come down to is which team gets lined up on the new lane the fastest. The Adam Splitters had a heck of a time on that left lane. You heard Don Barrett say, hey, there's a wiggle spot down lane. It's going to be very interesting to see how the right-handers line up on this left lane because the Adam Splitters made it look pretty tough. I think right now it's a really good thing to have a southpaw as your anchor bowler.
Koganemi struck on the right lane back in the first, now operating on the left for LA. Lights, 2-8-10.
And there's that spot. The spot that Dom Barrett was talking about when Dom Barrett left, the same thing. Mika finds that same spot. Dom Barrett actually did trip the 2 out only to leave the light 8-10, but it's basically the same thing with the 2 pin. Mika leaves on the exact same lane. The players have to go around that spot. They got to get the ball farther to the right. Very wet, dry in that area. I'll explain what that means in a minute.
1:15 open, and the lead decreases by 20 for LA. And now all of a sudden Barnes is up with his last throw in the 7th frame with a chance to have the lead of LA.
Boy, if Barnes throws a strike here, we've got a whole new match.
Here. Oh! Not one for us.
Huge break. Tripping out the 4-7-10. Watch this. See how deep Barnes is. Remember where he started? He was about the 12th board. Trips out the big 4. Great pin action and a great time for that to happen. Cuts the lead of LAX to 10. It's a big shot for this team coming up right here with E.J. Tackett.
Slapped it back at LA as E.J. did earlier. Oh, and he rings a 10 pin.
So revisiting this left lane, there's a little bit of oil down that's moved down the lane. The front part of the lane is dry, so the players have to move left. They move left. There's a little bit of oil down the lane, which keeps the ball from hooking into the pocket. So what happens is if they miss a little bit to the inside, it hits that strip of oil, and the ball goes light like it did on Mika the frame before. If you get it to the spot correctly, and the ball does find enough friction to actually hook into the pocket, it's still pushing a little too long down the lane. There's the ringing 10. The players have to move farther left, open up that left lane even more.
We all wanted that one. That was so good.
LA taking a point in game 1. Silver Lake striking back with doubles. LA advancing 2-1 in trios, and now 3 points. In the event of a tie, they would split the 3 points.
Very good show.
And LA would claim the victory. So LA can clinch the cup with a tie or a win. 8th frame.
LAX is in big trouble, Mike J. Big trouble. Left lane is hard to strike on. The right lane is easy to strike on. And the Atom Splitters got lined up real quick.
Even team game. 225 max. In the event of that 225 tie, LA would claim the cup. Oh, 10 pin.
A shot.
Ringing from Tackett, flat from Gomez.
Looks like Mr. Momentum has changed his address. He's over on the purple bench now. I mean, the writing's on the wall. You could just see it. If Wes Malott gets up and strikes in the 9th frame, it may be too late for LAX.
Spare for LA. A little thinner than Andres would have liked, but it counts nonetheless. Now back over to Wes Malott in the foundation frame.
Can increase the lead to 11. Max score of 225. The best LAX can shoot now, 214. Big shot here for Wes Malott. Oh.
Good catch.
We'll throw it till you're ready. It's all right.
Wow.
Come in.
You're good.
How's that feeling?
I mean, that's a 15-pound bowling ball that Wes Malott made look like it weighed about 2 pounds.
Wes resets the pre-shot routine, lets it fly, 9th frame. Mixing strike.
Go, TJ. I got you there for a reason, brother.
Get something I carry there.
Well, it was a great touch when he let go of that shot, and just a great reaction. This team got lined up correctly on that right lane. LAX never got lined up on the left lane, lined up enough to strike. Belmonte, the last chance for LAX.
Ten pin.
And when Jason Belmonte's ball doesn't strike when it hits the pocket, it doesn't bode well for their team. Talk about just getting the life sucked right out of you. It happened with Mika's first shot in the 6th frame when he went 2-8-10, and then 3 consecutive 10 pins right behind that as the Atom Splitters just threw 4 in a row.
Great shot.
Well, table's been set for Tommy Jones by the rest of his team. 9 spare strike to shut out LAX.
Manager Mark Baker said, "Hey, Tommy, I put you there for a reason." Rolls a 2.
Game over.
Just gotta go to the well, right? Just gotta go to the well.
It's only 2 pin.
Just gotta go to the well.
Still got it.
Just gotta go to the well.
You're still who you are.
Every now and then you gotta go to the well.
That's why you are.
It's not the first time he's ever tripped a 2-pin in his career, I guarantee it. And it's not the first time he's tripped a 2-pin today. But man, oh man, what a great break that is. That's 5 in a row for the Atom Splitters. And that snatches victory right out of the hands of LAX. Well, here's the winning shot. Tommy Jones gets it out just a little bit to the right. The great pin action. The head pin going to the sidewall and tripping the 2 out.
No? Back hurt too bad the last time? I should be retired after that first one.
And that makes it official. The Silver Lake Atom Splitters are the 2014 Elias Cup champions.
That's why I put you here.
The Atom Splitters moving to the right lane and just striking out. I mean, they got lined up on that right lane quick. A couple of nice breaks in the 7th. First ball in the 10th by Jones. He just put the hammer down and never let up.
Chris Hardwick's Silver Lake Atom Splitters have claimed the PBA League Elias Cup with a 4-2 victory over the LAX, and Kimberly is standing by with the PBA League champions.
I'm also here with Tom Clark, the PBA commissioner, to present the Elias Cup trophy.
Thank you, Kimberly. On behalf of the PBA, congratulations to team owner Chris Hardwick, the manager Mark Baker, and the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, your champions. Congratulations, guys.
Mark, that trophy looks heavy. You guys worked really hard to get here. Now, your team was trailing coming into the team match. What did you say to them to motivate them?
The reason we put this team together was to get to this situation. So we got behind a little bit, but that's a lot of talent sitting behind the bench, and they did what they were supposed to do.
How do you plan on celebrating this?
Actually, I'm flying home to Orange County tonight, so I am going to Disneyland.
All right. Well, congratulations to you, Mark. I would love to talk to Tommy Jones because we've talked so much about the anchor position and how important it is, and you came through in that 10th frame. Walk us through what was going through your mind.
Well, you know, I didn't make that good of a shot. I got it a little left, and on this lane, you couldn't really do that. But, we had a couple breaks go the wrong way early on, and got a lucky one back there, and they all even out, so best team won.
Now, you've won 2 times now on 2 different teams. How does this one differ?
You know, this time it was great bowling with Pete last year and being on New York City Kingpins last year, but this year I got to do it with, you know, 4 of my best friends and a coach and Mark Baker, so this one's pretty special.
Well, congratulations to the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. You guys worked hard to win the Elias Cup Championship. Now let's send it over to Randy Peterson for the MVP award.
Thank you, Kimberly. Well, you know, every league's got to have an MVP, and this league is no different. This award's going to go to Chris Barnes. Chris was 7-2 throughout this competition, and Chris, you performed brilliantly. You put an awesome team together with your manager, and who better to have this award named after than the great Mark Roth? And to present the MVP award to Chris Barnes is one of the greatest of all time, Mark Roth.
Thank you, Randy. It was nice to have a tournament named after me, but this is a better feeling to have an award named after you. And Chris, congratulations on glad you're the first winner.
Thanks, Mark. You know, it's an honor to have something named after my hero. I mean, basically, he was the reason why I learned how to hook the ball, you know, a few years ago, and I got to watch him, it seemed like, every Saturday on TV, and it's fun now to get to bowl in the same shows and in the same league that he did.
Chris, why were you so brilliant throughout this competition?
I guess they made the lanes easy enough that I can strike. You know, they put me in a position to succeed. We got great guys around us. That takes a little bit of the heat off. You're not doing anything on your own with these guys. So everybody's got everybody's back. There's not a lot of pressure from the back. You don't feel like if you miss that somebody's going to throw you under the bus. And that's all part of the deal.
What was the best part of this entire event for you?
Watching Tommy roll the 2 again. There's nobody better when he got it going, and yeah, and for a change, I was sitting in the same seat, but this time he was on my team instead.
Congratulations, guys.
The LAX come up 1 step short, and the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, powered by Mark Roth MVP Chris Barnes and Tommy Jones in the anchor position, have claimed the 2nd Elias Cup. For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. Congratulations to the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, winners of the 2nd Elias Cup.